I think I need to show you a little bit more about the heavy gel satin, because I've been showing you how it can be used with a knife and very thickly, but I want to show you that it can be used quite smoothly as well. If you just like very brushy paint that leaves a lot of brush marks, it brushes out very nicely. It's very simple to brush out, and if you want to dilute it, it's surprising how it 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 comes out quite easily. Considering how thick it is, it'll come out to a wash quite easily if you want to do that. So you can do an entire painting using this medium if you want, and you can get the contrast between thicker and thinner paint application that I was talking about. Now I've got the gel medium in there. I'm going to show you the thick painting medium over here. Now if you're using the thick painting medium and it's in this bottle, because it's thick, you may have to thump it like that as the bottle gets near to being empty, but it does all come out easily. So here we go, and it's very luscious paint. I think this lusciousness is what people are really going to respond to and probably use in their entire painting. And I'm talking in my data sheets about making a blanket, a wet blanket. If you want to use your acrylic paint in a wet state, this is an easy way to make a wet blanket, because as you can see, the paint is going on in a very luscious, thick sort of a way, without much effort on your part. You just have to mix the medium in and paint with it, and automatically you're putting down a lot more paint than you normally would. Now, the reason why I talk about having a wet paint blanket is that if you're using oil paint and you put the paint out, it stays wet as long as you like. As soon as you put acrylic paint out, it starts to suck into the surface that it's painted on, and the water starts to evaporate out of it. So you've got to be careful of your weather conditions. If you're using air conditioning, I would keep away from air currents, or get the room to the temperature you like and then turn it off perhaps, because there's nothing worse to dry out acrylic paint than an air conditioner fanning hot air at you. Well, it's fanning hot air at your painting as well, isn't it? What I have to show you here is how, if you're layering, you can put a fresh layer over the dry underpainting, and you can feather it away in the edges cleverly so that nobody will know that it is a layer. It will look as if it's integrated. Now I start that off by spritzing the surface so that it's moist. It's not the only way of doing it, but it's one way of doing it. Now what I have to show you is what happens when I try to feather that away. So obviously I need a clean brush, otherwise I'm just going to be sweeping more and more paint along. But it's not very hard. I'm revealing a little bit of that whitish colour. I need to come out a bit. Now, the closer the colour is in tone to the colour underneath, the easier this is to do. I think that's a technique that everybody can use, and there is a fairly strong contrast between those two colours. Let's come back on the other side with some ultramarine blue. So this is, I'm going wet in wet again now, aren't I? Now I'm getting a mixed colour. that is fairly close to what was there before, but I've gone back to wet in wet, and I'm duplicating what was underneath more or less. So you've got a whole lot of choices that you can go through.